Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Linda. Here on this channel, I share videos about sewing, pattern drafting, and everything fashion. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to sew this beautiful corset top. We drafted the last time. If this seems like what you're interested in, you might want to take a pause and subscribe so we can dive into the main video. So guys, I have my pattern from the last video, and as you can see on my work table, I've gone ahead to cut out the pattern on my actual fabric and also on my lining. So you can see that my yoke is actually two-piece here. I'm just going to open it up for you guys to see. The yoke kind of looks like letter M, which I actually like a lot. And then this is the back piece. The back is actually cut out together with the lining. Same thing I have for the actual fabric is what I have for the lining. So now I'm going to set the patterns aside and work on my actual fabric and my lining. This right here is a gum stay. It's going to be used for the sleeve and the sleeve alone. And then this is a ridgeline boning also for the sleeve. I'm just going to attach it to the sleeves after I attach the hard gum. So this is another different kind of boning. It's actually called the plastic boning. I'll be inserting this in both the front and the back piece of this top. So I have 3 yards of this plastic boning here, and it's a medium-sized boning. And this is the zipper I'll be using for the back piece, and then I have my pins here in case I need some. And then the next thing I'll be doing right now is just to set the lining piece aside. As you can see, I added my air stay on the lining and also on the actual fabric. So I added 2 layers of the black air stay on the actual fabric and then 1 layer on the lining. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is just to go ahead and arrange my front piece like this, and then I'll be stitching them by 0.5 inches like this on the machine. So just go ahead and fold it this way, align it together, and then stitch it together by 0.5 inches all the way downwards, and then do the same thing on the opposite side as well. I'll be doing this off camera. After that, the next thing I did was to come and align my yoke piece, and I want to stitch the neckline first of all before stitching the down part only. So the base here for the down part is going to be open, it's not going to be closed. After I was done stitching the front piece together, this is how it looks like. I went ahead to add my wadding to it. This is how I added my wadding. I kind of added a hemming gum together with my wadding just to put it in place and stick it together with my fabric. And then I secured the rough edges with an S-stay. So whatever I did for my front piece is the same thing I did for my lining piece. As you can see, I've already gone ahead to stitch them together like this, and I'm just going to make sure they fit into each other. Heading back to the front piece, I went ahead to add a long strip of fabric like this, which is about 2.5 inches wide. This is because I want to make a boning casing for my front piece. You can see I added 3 pieces of the long strip of fabric like this because I want to stitch them together all in the middle first of all. So I've already gone ahead to pin them in place, and for you to do that, you're going to be getting the midpoint on the center front. And for the sides, you're going to be following this line where you have stitched your center front and your side front together. Just make sure that you stitch them in between the line where there's a joining between these 2 fabric. If you don't understand, I'll still go ahead and demonstrate it for you guys to see. So I went ahead to get this joining part where I stitch the center front and the side fronts together, and I'm just going to place this piece of fabric there and make sure that I pin them in place and secure them together so that I could be able to stitch them in place. So I'll just go ahead and pin it all the way down like this, making sure it's in place. I'll also go ahead and do the same thing on the other side as well. So like I explained initially, this is going to be a boning casing for my boning. So I'll make twin casing here for 2 pieces of boning on each lane, and I'll be doing that off camera. So this is how it looks like after I was done stitching the line, and you can see that I have 3 lines, 3 stitches on each side. This is because I'm going to be inserting 2 bonings on each of their respective lanes. So I'll just go ahead and trim out the excess fabric that is peeking out below. And afterwards, the next thing I'll be doing is to work on the yoke part. So bringing back my yoke to the table, this is what I did. I went ahead to add my S-stay. I added just 1 layer of the S-stay on the wrong side of the yoke, and I also did the same thing on the second one. So I'm just going to place them like this and align them together. Also use a pin to secure them in place in the middle, and then I'll go ahead and stitch this neckline first of all, and then I'll also stitch the down part only on the triangle area and also on the other side as well by 0.5 inch. And then you can see I've gone ahead to stitch everything, and the next thing I did was to notch it all around the triangle and then around the neckline as well. So guys, after I was done notching it, I turned the yoke inside out. This is a very difficult task to achieve as it's very tight and consumes a lot of time, and then I just have to fast forward it. Just go ahead and gently pull it out of each other and ensure that you take a lot of patience to do that. And here we have our yoke all done, and I also went ahead to press it so it will look very nice. Remember that I didn't stitch the straight part in the middle. Kindly leave that part open. So the next thing is to insert the yoke on the front piece. So now I am just trimming out the excess threads, and this is my yoke. I'm going to be locating the midpoint for the center like this, and then I'll be pinning it down to secure it in place with my pin, and then I'll stitch it and also place my lining piece on top of it like this, and then stitch it on a straight line, making sure that the right side is facing right side of the main fabric. So I'll be sticking the midpoints together with my pins just to secure them in place before stitching everything together. And also, this is how it's going to look like. Make sure that your fabric is aligned right side to right side with your lining before stitching them in place together. This is how it looks like after I was done stitching them together, and you can see that my lining is just looking just as same as my main fabric. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is just go ahead and adjust the bust area, flip it open, and then top stitch it on the lining part like this. After I am done top stitching it, the next thing I'll be doing is to secure both the lining and the main fabric together on the inside like this. And to do that, I'll be placing my hemming gum like this just around the stitched part I just did on the chest line, and then close it like this before pressing them together with my steam press iron. Make sure that your iron is very hot so that it will hold. Heading to the back piece, I'll be placing them like this with the right side facing up, and then I'll be placing my lining right on top of it like this on each part, and then I'll stitch the neckline first of all before stitching the zipper area, and then I'll be doing the same thing for the lining. I'm still going to explain once more. First of all, you need to stitch, notch and top stitch the neckline before stitching this part. And this is how it looks like after I was done. You can see that the neckline has been properly stitched, and then the zip side has been stitched as well, and then I turn it inside out. And then the next thing I'll be doing right now is just to go ahead and work on the darts area. You can see that I also pressed the line around the dart just to give a notation of where the darts would fall into, and then I also pressed another line to demarcate the zipper area. So for me to include my darts, I'm just going to fold it this way on both sides and then stitch the darts like this and get back to you. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch the darts and insert my zipper. This is how my darts looks like. It's about 11 inches from the waistline upwards, and then I also stitched a strip of bias for the boning casing. I also did the same thing on the other side as well. This is going to give a structure to the back in the resemblance of a corset because I added a zipper. Then this is the boning I'll be inserting. I'm still going to trim down this boning by 2 inches just to reduce the length, and then I'll be inserting it into the casing. When inserting your boning into your casing, you will need to insert it backwards like this. The cut side is going to be facing upwards so that your top will look like a corset at the back. And this is how it looks like after I was done. The next thing is just to go ahead and insert the boning into the front piece as well. So guys, I'll be giving you a tip on how to insert your boning if eventually it's extending to the bust area, just like this. When inserting any boning that extends right on top of the bust or above the bust, it's best to follow the shape of what your outfit looks like. So I'll just go ahead and twist this boning like this to make it curvy around that part. Just because I want it to flow with the shape of the front, I'm just going to follow that curve so it will bring out the structure. After I was done inserting the boning, I went ahead to close this down part. You can see how I stitched it by 0.5 inches all around. So before turning it inside out, I'll go ahead and notch it all around the stitches I made. You need to be careful so you won't cut through the seam lines. So after you're done notching, just go ahead and turn it inside out just like I am doing. So this is how it's going to look like after you are done. Our top is already coming together and it's very beautiful. The next thing I'll be doing is to join it at the shoulder and close the sides to shaping it up. So I already went ahead to do that, and I mark a chalk line just to shaping it up around the sides. Remember, I gave about 2 inches to 1.5 inches stitching allowance when I was drafting it in the first video, so I'll just go ahead and trim out the excess threads after stitching them together. So guys, this is how it looks like after I was done stitching everything. Next thing is to open it up on the right side and then work on the sleeves. So guys, for the sleeve, I already have a video on how to do that on my channel. I'll just reference it here a little. This is the sleeve after I was done stitching everything about it. I'll be fixing that right away. You'll see the video on how to fix it on my channel too. So this is the sneak peek of how my top looks like on me. Isn't it beautiful? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and also tap on the notification bell. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!